Hi, and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today, it is March the 1st. We are on page 6 of the magazine, and we're talking about the rise and fall of Yahoo.
Ooh.
Now, let me tell you why this title is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's because there's a very famous book called The Rise and Fall of the Roman Empire, which is a hugely influential history of how the Roman Empire developed and then fell apart.
好，所以这个题目呢非常有趣，因为有一本很有名的书，就 The Rise and Fall of the Roman Empire， 那中文把它翻成我记得是罗马帝国兴亡录，那所以这是一个名著，但结果这个 title 呢前面都一模一样，最后呢还换成雅虎，所以这个在英文的读者心里面他会唤起先想到那本很有名的书的 title， 然后再看原来他要谈的是雅虎。那我们的这个标题呢中文是时代的眼泪，雅虎的光辉与挑战。那这个的 rise and fall， 这个 rise 在这里就是兴起的意思，然后呢 fall 就是沉落或者是覆亡。
So, we're going to talk about how Yahoo has grown and how it has fallen apart. It has not yet fallen apart, though. So, is this one of those, premature death things? Like, oh, we miss our friend so much. I'm not dead yet. Sometimes we can even hear his voice. Do you know that joke?
Not really.
I feel like this is that kind of a situation. Yahoo's like, I'm not falling apart yet. And we're like, sometimes we even hear mention of their past exploits. We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's read the article. These days, when someone wants to search for information, all they need to do is type their question into Google. They use Amazon to shop for items and Instagram to share stories with friends. However, this has not always been the case. Long before these companies rose to fame on the internet, Yahoo was dominant in the early days of the World Wide Web. Jerry Young and David Philo, two graduate students at Stanford University, came up with the idea for a list of websites sorted by category in the year 1994. They originally called their site Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web. It quickly gained popularity, and the duo decided to rename it Yahoo and list it as a company in 1995. During the 1990s, Yahoo was the go-to search engine for most people. The company grew quickly and acquired many other smaller internet-related companies. 411, a webmail service, was bought in 1997 and later became Yahoo's popular email service. Then, in 1999, Yahoo bought GeoCities, a web hosting service. Other popular services Yahoo developed include Yahoo Finance, a business and financial news website, and Yahoo Sports, a sports news website. Despite all of Yahoo's success, the company's history has not been without setbacks. For one thing, the company failed to compete with similar companies like Google and Microsoft. Yahoo's market share has slowly shrunk over the years. Furthermore, the company suffered from the largest known data theft in 2013. In 2017, the U.S. telecommunications company Verizon acquired Yahoo's core business, including its search engine, email service, and digital content businesses. In spite of all these challenges, Yahoo still remains a well-known website today. So where's the fall, my friend, the author? We heard about the rise and a slight slippage, but no fall. And also, Yahoo just recently bought Line, right? So they can't be dead. Yeah, I know that for sure, that they bought Line. But Yahoo is owned by Verizon or Verizon. I never know how to say this name. It's Verizon or Verizon. Let's say Verizon. Verizon is an American telecommunications company. They were one of the baby Bells when Bell got split up. And Verizon is not my favorite company. Let's just say that. Yeah. So Verizon owns Yahoo, and Yahoo now owns Line. So if you're a Line user, you should know this thing. Yahoo now owns Line. It's no longer owned by the Korean company.
Oh, okay.
Unless they bought the whole Korean company? I'm not sure about that part. Never Line or whatever.
不过就是雅虎，我想跟我们比较切身的就是刚刚 Angela 老师讲到他最近买的 Line 现在是雅虎的，所以这个文章的标题里面有讲到这个 fall， 但其实 在我们文章里面可以看到雅虎它现在只是可能有些地方换了老板的，可是它最近其实又买了 Line， 所以它是不是真的 fall 这个其实文章里面并没有讲得很清楚，但是这个标题非常吸引人因为大家一看到这标题就会想我要赶快看看这个地方讲了什么。
Because everyone loves a good gossip.
Yeah,
that's the whole appeal of this headline. You know how that whole famous Shakespeare to be or not to be and everyone uses it for everything? It's just such a catchy meme. And so this headline of today's headline is a meme.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're not actually fulfilling the meme. Then people feel like this is, bait and switch.
Yeah. 不过这个就像我们刚刚对 Angela 老师讲的，这个很多时候很多人标题他就会希望尽量吸引读者的目光。那不过就是我们这一篇文章呢，其实主要讲的它介绍就是雅虎。
So, let's go through the article. These days. When you say these days, you're kind of implying a thing. You're kind of implying that things have changed and that they may have been better in the past. Not necessarily, but we're definitely saying that now things are different than what they used to be. These days, when someone wants to search for information, all they need to do is type their questions into Google. Not like when I was a child and we had to go to an actual paper encyclopedia, find the letter and pull it off the shelf, and then find a tiny, tiny paragraph deeply unsatisfying about that thing. We now have all of the information that Google has, which is a lot, and not all of it. Everyone loves to say the internet has all the information.
No.
That is not true.
No.
It has a lot of the basic information and a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
But not all of the information.
所以呢，我们先看这个句子。他说 these days 就是如今，有的时候呢，就像 Angela 老师讲，这个 these days 有的时候会让你觉得说之前好像更好，所以你会觉得哎呀，类似讲中文讲这年头，中文讲这年头常常感觉是以前可能更好啊，这年头小孩都不用功了，感觉起来就是我们那个时候好像大家比较用功，不过这当然不一定哈。
Do you know we have letters from 5,000 years ago that say that thing?
Oh yeah.
They say these days the children are just no good, and then we're just that's the Earth's, the world's, humanity's oldest complaint. Our children are not as good as we are.
对。这个人性就是这样，几千年前就有人看到人家文字留下来说，现在现在年轻人真的是一代不如一代了。那如果真的是一代不如一代，怎么我们会到现在这么蓬勃发展呢？
Right.
不过就是刚刚举各位一个例子，就是 these days 就类似我们中文讲的这年头。然后呢 when someone 当有一个人他想要 search for information， 他要搜寻资讯的时候呢，all they need to do is 那这种句型我想各位要把它记清楚。我通常建议各位，英文有一首很有名的歌就是 all I have to do is dream， 你把这名字记起来你就知道 all I have to do, all someone has to do 或者 need to do is 后面加一个原形动词。所以现在呢，如果有人要搜寻资讯的话，他们要做的只是把他们的问题呢打进 Google 里面。那当然这个 Angela 是有提醒这个 Google 呢其实它上面有很多资讯其实是比较基本的资讯，而且也有很多是 misinformation 就错误的资讯，所以还是要注意。不过当然有 Google， 比我们当年我在念大学的时候没有 Google， 那个时候你要找资讯的话要去图书馆里面找，这个翻箱倒柜的很难找。
Yeah.And the computer systems that ran the libraries use this very confusing search. It's called the Boolean search system. So you had to input your search terms in a very specific way so that you would get the thing you wanted.
Yeah.
And it was a whole science.
Yeah. 那电脑刚刚开始有的时候呢，那也不好用。你要透过那个电脑搜寻资讯，那必须要遵照它的一些格式、它的要求，你才有办法搜寻到资讯。
Yeah, you didn't even have a computer in your library to search. No. You had card catalogs.
Yeah.
Which I also learned to use. And actually I prefer them over that stupid Boolean search computer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, the people that want to search for information, though that's the they we're talking about here, they use Amazon to shop for items. If you shop for something, you look for something that you're looking to buy. It doesn't mean they buy the items. You understand, to shop for and to buy is the same thing as to look for and to find. These are not the same state. And so they use Amazon to shop for items and Instagram to share stories with friends. These are all like the main internet sort of platformy things.
Yeah. 好，所以呢，他们就是如果有人要找资讯的话呢，还有就是一般的人们他们会用 Amazon， 就刚 干嘛呢？ Shop for items 去买一些东西。那各位注意 shop 常常是用的不及物动词，例如说这个 go shopping 当然它后面没有受词，这里也不是动词。那另外你也可以说 I usually shop on Sundays， 后面不会直接加受词。那如果你要加受词的话，就是要加一个 for， shop for。那另外 shop for 跟 buy 的差别就跟 look for 跟 find 的差别一样，这个 shop for 是到商店里面去找，然后想要买一个东西。那真正买那个动作呢是 buy 这个动作。所以他说人们用 Amazon 来买东西购物，然后呢用 Instagram， 然后呢来 share stories with friends， 来跟朋友分享一些故事。
However, this has not always been the case. If something hasn't been the case or has not been the case, it means it wasn't like that before.
也就是说并不是一直如此的意思。这个 this has not always been the case， 各位可以把这整个语串学起来。
Long before these companies rose to fame on the internet. Every time I read this sentence, I want to do this announcer's voice because it just feels very rhetoricful. It feels like something that a politician or somebody trying to convince you would say in a grand speech. So long before these companies rose to fame on the internet, if something rises to fame, it becomes famous. You rise through the ranks of ordinary people to the stratosphere of a new existence. You rise to fame on the internet. So before those companies were famous, Yahoo was dominant. They were the main player. In the early days of the World Wide Web, I can confirm this. I had Yahoo Mail. I used Yahoo as a search engine. Like Yahoo was I hated the interface though. It was so junky. And that part of the reason why Google became dominant at the time is that they went the opposite way. They were like one box, one name, and a click button. And it was so pleasant to use this site that wasn't shouting at you that everybody was like, ooh, yeah, Google.
好，所以呢，这个地方讲到说 long before 什么什么，就在这个之前很久以前。那这个句子一开始 long before 什么时候，让你感觉这个要讲的事情蛮伟大的那种感觉。好，所以刚刚 Angela 说，他念到这种句子的时候，就会觉得想要用那个很伟大的那种，充满了那种修辞性的声音。然后尤其后面他又接着 these companies rose to fame， rose to fame 也是一个蛮告诉你很伟大的一件事情的这种用字。rose to fame 就是 became famous。所以在这个刚刚讲的以上这些公司 Amazon 啊 Instagram， 他们在网络上成名之前很久，雅虎就怎么样？那个时候在他们成名之前很久以前呢，雅虎就是 was dominant， 就是雅虎是有主导的地位。所以 dominant 这个是它就是 exercising the most power, control 或者是 influence， 所以就是有主导地位。然后呢 in the early days of， 各位把它整个背起来，就是在什么什么的早期，在什么什么的初期，在什么什么的初期呢？在这个 The World Wide Web 的初期，这个雅虎它是主导网络的。
Jerry Yang and David Philo, two graduate students at Stanford University. A graduate student is working towards their master's or their PhD. And Stanford, of course, is like the epicenter of all things internet. Like the old ARPANET run by the Defense Department of the United States was centered in Stanford. All the computer guys have always been around Stanford and that area of the country. So these guys came up with the idea for a list of websites sorted by category. So they weren't a search engine, not like Google was. They were basically a list. Here's the good ones. Because at the time, what you did is you linked your website to other websites. And that's why we called it surfing the web, which no longer is surfing the web. Before, you would go into a website and you would see what links they have and you would click those. And like 13 websites later, you would have no idea how you got there, but then you're like, wow, this is great. And you would save the link for yourself. So everyone had like a private directory of all the links. And so they probably had a private directory of a bunch of really good links and were like, why don't we make this public? So that's the first sort of public categorizing on a major scale of the internet. And that was done by Yahoo. And it was called Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web, a very straightforward name.
好，所以 Jerry Yang 跟这个 David Philo 他们两个 童伟宇告诉你，他们是这个斯坦福大学的2位研究生。那他们怎么样 came up with the idea， 他们想出了这个 idea。那什么 idea 呢？ for 后面加一个名词， came up with the idea for something。 所以他们想起了一个这样的一个 idea， 就是你要弄一个 a list of websites， 有一个网站的一个表，把它列表出来。那刚刚 Angela 讲说，这一开始的时候大家在所谓的网络搜寻，就是因为你先可能找到一个公司，这公司底下它会列出几个相关的网站啊，那你再进入那类网站，那类网站会跑到另外一个网站。
不是公司 usually private individuals.
OK， 好，通常是个人，不是公司啊，那还只是个人。那所以要连来连去。那后来呢，这2位就想到一个，我们把这些网站呢，把它做成一个单子，而且是 sorted by category。sort 就是按类别分类整理啊，就是 classified，C-L-A-S-S-I-F-Y。所以这是什么时候发生的事情呢？这个是在1994年。那他写 in the year 1994， 其实你直接写 in 1994 就可以了，那加个 in the year 感觉起来更伟大一点啊，就在这一年，不是别年。
In the year 1994
就是这种感觉哈。然后呢，他们 originally 就是 at first initially， 他们本来称他们的网站，那这地方 call 后面加一个受词 their site， 那受词后面加受词补语，他把他们这个网站称为什么呢？那个什么就是受词补语，称为 Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web.
I want to say, at that time, the only people doing business on the web were computer companies. Now how like literally everybody and their sister is on the internet selling everything, that's very new. It's like last 10 years new. That's since smartphones were invented, new. Before smartphones, people weren't doing business on the internet. It was basically the province of people who were interested in really niche information or some enterprising computer company that was trying to do some version of social media.
Yeah， 好，所以这个其实在网络上卖东西呢，这个是最近这个10几年来才开始出现的一个现象，就是你要有智慧型手机之后才有的现象。在那个之前，网络上大部分都是一些公司行号在用。
So this Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web quickly gained popularity. The it points to their guide. And the duo, if something gains popularity, it got more and more popular. It's more and more like people were interested in it. And the duo, the pair, those two guys, decided to rename it Yahoo, which at the time everyone thought was the stupidest name. I mean, and they had this call tagline, Yahoo. It was stupid. Everyone hated it. And they still became so big. I don't know why Google sounds fine, but Yahoo sounds stupid, but it does. Anyways, they listed it as a company in 1995.
Yeah, 那所以那很快怎么样呢？就 gain popularity， 就很快受到欢迎。然后呢 the duo 这是2个人或2件事，通常是关联在一起的。所以这2个人呢，当然他们现在是 partners， 所以用 duo 这个字，他们decided to， 他们决定要 rename， 就是重新命名，一样的结构，后面加受词 it， 命名为什么呢？受词补语 Yahoo。然后呢 list it as a company， 就是把它注册登记，然后把它当做一个公司，这是1995年的事情。
During the 1990s, Yahoo was the go-to search engine for most people. If something's the go-to thing, it means everyone uses that first. They don't even think about anything else. So obviously, you would use that. And a search engine is a thing that you use to find information on the internet.
Yeah， 好，所以在1990年代呢，雅虎它是这个字大家可以学起来啊 ，was the go-to 什么什么东西。这个 go-to 就是 being the person or thing most trusted， 这个 most popular to accomplish a purpose。所以你要干嘛就找它就对了。所以呢，在1990年对大多数人来讲的雅虎就是你要用 search engine 的话，你要用搜寻器的话，那就是雅虎。
The company grew quickly and acquired, meaning bought or gained or got in some way, many other smaller internet-related companies, because that is how you grow as a company. You don't develop all the services yourself from scratch. You see somebody who's doing it and you're like, oh, I like what you're doing it. You buy them and now you have it.
好，所以 acquire 在这里是收购的意思。好，所以这家公司呢 grew quickly 迅速的成长，然后就收购了很多其他的比较小的Internet related 跟网络相关的一些 companies 公司。
411, a webmail service. Now, 411 is from 411, and that's the number that you call for information in the United States. So basically, they're like, information, our name is information. But they were a webmail service, which is basically an email service. And so they bought 411 in 1997, and that later became Yahoo's popular email service.
好，所以这个 411 美国411就代表 information 的意思，所以这个公司名称显然是在玩这个文字游戏。那他这里告诉你，同位语告诉你，它是一个网络邮件服务公司。它在1997年呢被雅虎买了，然后 later became 后来它变成雅虎的一个很受欢迎的 popular 的一个 email service， 一个 email 服务的一个部门。
And the reason it was so popular is before that, you literally needed to have a company to have an email or make it yourself, which very complicated. So suddenly you could just have an email for free. Everyone was like, yeah.
Oh.
Then in 1999, Yahoo bought GeoCities, a web hosting service, which was very popular amongst the fan fiction types, but also anybody who didn't want to buy their own server to make their own website. It was just like the email. It was a lot of trouble to set up your own, but you could just have one on their service. It was nice.
然后接下来在1999年呢，雅虎买了这个 GeoCities 这个地球村。那同位语告诉你，它是个 web hosting service， 它是个网页代管的一个服务的一个公司。那这也是以前呢，这个你要动网页的话很麻烦，那在这里你就透过这公司的服务，你就可以有一个网页了。
Other popular services Yahoo developed included Yahoo Finance, a business and financial news website. Financial news means news about how your money is growing or not on the stock market. And Yahoo Sports, a sports news website. I'm not interested in either of those, so I can't tell you much about them.
OK， 所以其他的一些热门的 popular 的一些 services 服务，那雅虎它 developed 被雅虎发展出来的，它中间当然省略了一个 that， 原来是说 other popular services that were developed by Yahoo 或者 that Yahoo developed， 那其他公司被它发展出来，包括什么呢？ Yahoo Finance 就财经，好，雅虎财经，它是一个商业跟财经的新闻这样一个网站，a business and financial news website。另外还有 Yahoo Sports， 这个雅虎的体育，那这个是个 sports news website， 是个体育新闻的网站。
And despite all of Yahoo's success, they've been very successful for a very long time.The company's history has not been without setbacks. If something is a setback, it means the progress is reversed for a short time. You're not only not improving, you're going backwards for a bit.
中文呢就是讲挫折，所以 despite 尽管雅虎有这么多的成功，那但公司的历史呢并不是没有挫折的，也就是说它有挫折。
For one thing, the company failed to compete with similar companies like Google and Microsoft. So this failed to compete is kind of like they failed to keep up with what the other guys were doing.
Failed to 是未能 compete with 就和谁竞争，也就是他们没有跟上其他类似公司的脚步。什么类似公司呢？例如 Google 跟 Microsoft， 换句话说，他们没有办法跟这个 Google 跟 Microsoft 没有办法跟他们竞争。
Yeah, they weren't moving as fast and developing new things as quickly. They weren't reducing, but they weren't getting better. And then Yahoo's market share has slowly shrunk over the years. Your market share is how much of the market you're occupying. So if other people are expanding and you're staying the same, you're actually losing market share. And it actually shrinks. It gets smaller over the years.
Yeah, shrunk.原型是 shrink 就缩减缩小，所以雅虎的 market share 他们的市场占有率呢慢慢的 over the years 这些年来慢慢他们的市场占有率慢慢的缩小。
It's my impression that they don't really have good C2 command and control over all of their thing. They're not consistent with their management. Anyways, furthermore, the company suffered from the largest known data theft in the world, in the universe, to date in 2013.
Yeah. 好，所以呢，此外这家公司 suffered from the largest known data theft. Suffered from 就在这里是 experience 遭遇了，他们遭遇了一个最大的已知最大的叫做 the largest known 已知最大的一个 data theft 就是资料偷窃的案子，这在2013年发生，所以他们资料被偷了很多。
In 2017, the U.S. telecommunications company Verizon acquired Yahoo's core business. I think this is the fall, according to our author, because if your core business has been acquired by somebody else, do you exist anymore as a business? Maybe not. Your core business is the thing that keeps your company going. It's not a peripheral or unimportant business. It's who you are as a business. So including its search engine, which is definitely Yahoo's main identity, their email service, and their digital content businesses. Digital content, just content means creative output, and digital content, an example of digital content would be all the videos on YouTube. And so the digital content businesses in Yahoo are a lot of different social media type businesses.
好，所以2017年呢，美国一个电信公司叫做这个 Verizon， 它收购了雅虎的这个核心业务 Core Business， 所以这个地方应该是我们作者所谓的雅虎的 fall， 因为那核心业务被它买走了，你的公司等于空掉了，就算你原来老板还有某些东西的话，那等于空掉了。那它核心业务包括什么呢？包括它的 Search Engine， 它的搜寻引擎，还有呢它的 Email 的服务，还有它的 Digital Content Business， 就是它的数位内容的一些业务，而且是不止一个 businesses， 所以它这些核心业务被收走了。
In spite of all these challenges, Yahoo still remains a well-known website today.
好，尽管有这么多的挑战呢，雅虎它仍然在今天仍然是一个 well-known 一个知名的网站。
Okay, so what did you learn? Well, the first question is, what was the initial name of Yahoo? What was the very first name they had?
雅虎原来的名字是什么呢？
Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web. A little bit long.
这是刚刚 Angela 老师讲的。我们看看第二题。
Which company bought Yahoo?
哪一家公司买了雅虎呢？
Verizon.
没错。
And if you play spooky music behind Verizon, then you'll get the idea. Okay, so that's all we have for you today about Yahoo. But if you want to find out more, you can go and Google it. You can go Yahoo it. You can go use search engines to find out more. And we'll see you next time for more Ivy English. Until then, bye-bye.